All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to What He Said with Kevin Walker. Of course, I'm Kevin Walker. I'm the only male on the screen tonight. So this beautiful young lady to my right here, this is Miss Kay Williams. Kay, introduce yourself to the peoples.
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
So cool. This is Kay, first time on with me. So, KK, just tell the people something about yourself, your background, your whole media background, and just something about you personally.
Let's see. So I'm originally born and raised Houston, Texas. I met Kevin through a family friend, and I also have a background in broadcasting. I went to Texas Southern, Houston Community College, and I have hosted my own podcast before as well.
Cool. So experience doing this is what her bottom line is with y'all. So
Yes.
we got several pretty cool topics tonight. Nothing juicy, nothing messy, like y'all normally like for me to be messy, nothing messy. So what's up? What's up, Big Ben? So what we are going to discuss, we're going to discuss the situation with the Geto Boys between Willie D and Scarface going on the Grammys. We're going to talk about that. That's our social media topic of the night. We're going to talk about the spoken or maybe the unspoken responsibilities of individuals in relationships. Like, do I have a responsibility to you because we're dating? I know what my responsibility is once we're married, but is there something that's unspoken that needs to be spoken that maybe we just don't do, that we don't get, men don't get, maybe women don't get?
Mm-hmm.
We also are going to discuss a story I read online about a 20-year-old substitute teacher who got herself involved with a 20-year-old student. He was a senior, came back for half a semester, didn't graduate the year before. He only needed I think a half a credit or something. But he was
high school?
Yeah.
When I saw you said 20, I was like, that's college. But you're talking high school. Okay.
He was a freshman, he was a senior, I'm sorry. He was a senior, had a half a credit to go. She was a 20-year-old substitute. Okay. And a relationship started that somehow leaked to I'm sure ain't no somehow. I'm sure he told people that leaked to other students, and she got in trouble for it. And we'll discuss that. Is that illegal or is that just immoral? Should she have been messing with this youngster?
Right.
I say, hey, legal is legal. You can't help who you love sometimes. Trust me, I'm guilty of that. So
what does that handbook say though?
That's the key. That's where the problem comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about the Geto Boy situation first tonight. So let me kind of bring everybody up to date, up to speed. So Scarface, who's a member of the Geto Boys, of course, I'm sure most of you know that. Scarface, who also had a stellar career as an artist himself, aside from as a solo artist, aside from the Geto Boys, was invited to come do an 11-second segment on the Grammys. Just 11 seconds, guys. I counted. That's how I know how long it was. It was an 11-second segment, a piece from Mind Playing Tricks on Me. So the Grammy Awards were doing a 50-year salute to hip hop, and they asked Scarface to come be a part of the show, I guess to sort of represent the South. So Scarface went on the show, did his brief little segment, his 11 seconds of fame for the Grammy Awards, and it didn't sit well with Willie D. Me personally, I say fuck Willie D. That's nothing to get mad about. That's childish as fuck. I look at it from this perspective. So being an athlete all my life, having played sports, having coached sports, if I'm a member of a team and one of my teammates gets an award or gets an opportunity that I wasn't privy to, why would I be jealous or consider him selfish because people wants to, or whomever wanted to honor him? You may have a different perspective, KK, because you said you're not a big rap girl, but how do you feel about that situation? I sent you the clips. What you think?
Well, when you first asked me about it, I was like, I don't get it. I don't understand because I'm really not into the whole rap thing and I didn't know all the context of it, right? And just from what you told me, I was like, well, it's 11 seconds and they called him, they didn't call Willie D. So why not go? But then after hearing and listening to the interview and I heard Willie's perspective of it, it was a 50-year tribute to hip hop, which the Ghetto Boys contributed to. And that song is a Ghetto Boy song with both Willie D, who co-wrote it as well. And even though whomever reached out to Willie D, I would like to know, was there a conversation had like, you want me and Willie D, or you just want me, or do you want the Ghetto Boys, or if he just purposely said, okay, I'm gonna come do it. I don't need them. I'm not gonna tell them, because he also said in the clip that he spoke to him the weekend of, and he didn't even mention it. So that's kind of shady in itself. Why couldn't you reach out to your label mate, your friend, your coworker, whoever, and say, hey, I got a phone call from such and such, just a heads up. They asked me to come perform 11 seconds of the song or whatever, and they just wanted me. Why I can't give that courtesy to him and just let him know? Why do you have to hear about it later on?
But Kay, is that my responsibility? So, okay, so let's take it from a different perspective. So let's say the NFL calls, they was like, Kevin, hey, we want to honor you for your work with the kids in the community. We know you had a staff of guys that worked with you for years on building that organization to the level you built it with. All the years y'all spent going to nationals, celebrating those kids and making sure those kids got stuff on a different level. But we recognize you. We would like for you to come and speak on behalf of your youth football organization. So am I being selfish if I don't reach out to my vice president and my treasurer and other people who worked with me on the board to say, hey, man, do y'all want to go to Florida with me to receive this award on behalf of the org? Because they called me.
It's different. They
Okay, tell me how that's different.
They specifically called you. They wanted to honor you for your contribution to what you did. That's what you just kept saying, what you did, right? This was a contribution to hip hop, right? Which the Ghetto Boys is a contribution to hip hop. The Ghetto Boys was a group. It wasn't like it wasn't a group. They were a group. And I feel like he could, as his label mate, group mate, friend, old friend, coworker, I don't know what their dynamic is now. A courtesy phone call could have been given to let him know, heads up, because he performed a Ghetto Boys song. That's all I'm saying. Did they ask for Willie D? No. Whoever called Scarface could have called Willie D as well, but they didn't. They asked for Scarface, but he could have let him know. They didn't ask for you. They asked for me.
So even on the clip, if you watch the entire clip, Brad, who's Scarface, Brad says to Willie, they called me. Why didn't they call you if they wanted to? They called me. He was like, and furthermore, Scarface even said on the clip, I had no idea that that's the song they were going to ask me to do until I got there. That's what he said.
I don't believe that.
I'm just going to, hey,
he didn't get on no plane and go all the way to LA not knowing what song he was going to perform. I don't believe that.
I'm just saying what the man said in the clip.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Let me read some of these comments. So Curtis Young said, I'm with Willie D. Face should have called him. He also should have stood firm on not performing without him. Ron Love said, Quest did that disrespectful shit because he said Quest called me. He did say that. Let me roll back a little bit and read some of these comments. Tracy Gibson said he could have shouted out Ghetto Boys before he did it. What are you gonna shout out the Ghetto Boys for? Bushwick dead. He ain't got no reason to shout out the Ghetto Boys. Man, they asked for Scarface to come. I don't know, man. I guess
that's just like asking LaToya Luckett to come perform a Destiny Child song without Beyonce. There is no Destiny Child without Beyonce.
Well, hey, I'm with you. because there is no Geto Boys without Scarface. So they got the best member of the group. They got the member who had the legendary solo career without the group. And he's saying in those clips, hey, I don't need Geto Boys. I can stand on my own.
And he very well be, but still, a courtesy phone call, text message, email, something could have been done, especially if I had a conversation with you and I'm talking to you and you know good and well tomorrow you're going somewhere and I'm asking you specifically, what are you doing? And then you tell me, I'm just going to go hang out, like it ain't no big deal. Now, see, why did he hide it? What was the big deal then?
Okay, so let me ask you another question. Should it even really be a big deal, KK, if Scarface didn't get any funding or didn't receive any form of a payment for going and perform? Should it really even be a big deal? Nobody made money off of it. Why care so much?
I mean, I'm not a rapper, so I don't know what the big deal is. I could care less, but obviously it means something to them as a unit, as a group, as a tribute to hip hop, where he contributed as well to hip hop, right? And he was part of that group. So even though he didn't get paid for it, he still could have been involved in it.
So Raquel gives you a call to say, hey sis, can you come over? I'm gonna do some crawfish. I want to invite you over to come to the house to eat some crawfish. Mm-hmm. So as a wife, even though she never said, I want to invite you and your husband, do you say, hey babe, Raquel invited us over? Do you automatically consider yourselves as one?
Yes.
So you would immediately go to your husband and say, Raquel invited us over to eat crawfish.
Yes.
But technically, that's not what Raquel did.
Yes, she did. Because when she invited me and she knows that I'm married, she invited my spouse, she invited my kids. Unless she says no kids allowed, unless she says it's only girls, then that means it's a we. It's us. We're a package. Even though he probably not going to go anyway, I'm still going to invite him.
So Tracy said, come on, Kev, you know the Geto Boys is a group. What you mean? There's no Geto Boys without Willie D. Scarface didn't want to be a ghetto boy to begin with. Hey, man. That's semantics. That's semantics. Sonia Jones said, Kevin, I know you know better than that. You just trying to keep the conversation going. I know better than what? No. I'm like, if I get invited somewhere to receive an award that's a team award, that's one thing. But if I get invited somewhere and it's an individual award, that's a whole nother. Hey, if they say, man, we want to make you the offensive player of the year, hey, or the coach of the year, coach, come get your award. We want to invite you down. We're going to feed you. We're going to yada, yada, yada. Now, if I'm married, I might say to my significant other, but I might not even take a girlfriend.
Well, they should have said, we want you, Brad, to come and you to contribute your music to the show, not the Geto Boyz song then.
That's another way of looking at it. That's another way. I can agree with that point. But he made it clear. He made it clear because remember in the one clip, Brad says, man, show me where you read that they said the Geto Boys would be performed. Remember he said that? He said, show me where you read that. And Willie D couldn't provide that. He was like, I don't know where. If you read something online, that article is always going to be available.
And it's going to screenshot anyway. Because I'm going to screenshot and I'm going to send it to you.
That's where I felt like Willie D maybe was full of shit, because how you don't know where you read that article, or why wouldn't, if it meant so much to you, like clearly it meant to him. If it meant so much, tell me why he didn't screenshot that and immediately send it to him. Like, bro, this is some bullshit.
Yeah, I agree.
Because that's what I would have done.
Why was he acting all irrational on the other video when he was at, just forget it, man. Just forget it. It's my fault. It's my fault. I did it. I got on the plane and the blah, 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 blah. That was unnecessary. And Willie was like, look, I'm going to say what I got to say. You're just not going to shut me up like that. I mean, that was just unnecessary. Why are you going to have him on your podcast? That is his podcast, right? And then
It's theirs together. It's theirs together.
Oh, they have it together.
Yeah. That's the Geto Boyz Reloaded. That's the podcast.
So they work together.
Yes.
So they go to see each other every day.
However often they do I don't know how
he
often.
didn't mention that he was performing.
No, he did say that he was going.
No. I said performing.
He didn't. Well, he knew he was going to perform. He just didn't know what he was going to perform.
But he didn't mention it to this man. You look at. I just saw you. We just had a podcast together, and you can tell me that they ask you to perform.
KK, why am I getting vibes like you only riding with this man because he from the north side too?
Hey.
I'm kind of getting vibes like
I don't know neither one of them. And I probably can't even hum one of their songs. So
but
I don't have a dog in the fight.
That north side mindset is sticking together for some reason.
And I lived in 5th Ward, and I still can't tell you nothing about them.
And he was the main one always yelling about the bloody nickel, the bloody nickel.
So I can't tell you nothing. Because
Gibson says we're talking about something that's already been hashed out. Already, this is a bullshit argument. That ain't been hashed out yet. That boy's still making videos. When it is still making videos about it.
We ain't hashed it out, so we still talking about it.
Exactly. So let's move on. Let's leave that where it is. Let's move on. So do you think there is a spoken or a unspoken responsibility to your mate? So do you truly believe, because you just recently married, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you truly believe that your husband truly understands what you as a wife expects from him as a husband? 100%. Do you think he 100% get it?
No, because I didn't 100% get it. But he's been married before and I never was married. So even though I thought I asked all the right questions while we were dating and about expectations and all that, after I got married, I realized I didn't ask enough questions. And I realized I was like, maybe this ain't right for me or whatever, because I wasn't prepared for all the expectations that he had for me. And there was nothing wrong with it. It was just like I thought I asked everything I thought I could possibly ask, but there was still more. And part of me was like, I don't want to do that though, because I had been single for so long. It was just me and my kids. And so now here it is, me, a husband, kids, and I have to do for me still. I have to do for them still. Now I got to do for another person. And I'm tired, so I didn't know. I had no idea.
So even now, being married, having that husband in the home day in, day out, do you guys have conversation about responsibility or expectation?
Yes.
Maybe here's what I'd like more of. Maybe here's what. And my only issue that, and I was married for 22 years. I don't know if you knew that or don't know that. I was married for 22 years. I am divorced now. I've been divorced since 2018. But I think the biggest thing that I'm finding now, dating again, is that most single women don't want to have any level of accountability. They don't want to take responsibility for their words, let alone their action.
I need an example.
If I give you one, they're going to say I'm being messy. So let me think of one that doesn't involve me in a scenario in case they're watching. So nobody can come. Don't be using me in your podcast. But I just think sometimes there's a lack of communication because our other significant others, male or female, our significant others, we feel like they should know or they should understand what we expect or what we want in that moment.
I don't think anyone can read your mind to know what you want unless you verbally express it and say it. We can't read your mind. You got to tell us. You have to be verbal. You have to say what you need to say and mean what you say, so that we're not going to guess and assume and think, okay, well, this is what he needs. You need to say what it is that you need.
So I had a conversation with a friend of mine just recently, and I have blue gobs of female friends, for whatever reason, feel extremely comfortable talking to me about their situations. And so this particular friend of mine, she said she told her husband in a sexual moment when he was trying to get it that she didn't feel like it. And now, because she said what she said, he hadn't spoke to her in 2 or 3 days. Like, they've been talking because they had to, not talking because the odor in the house was pleasant. And what my response to her was, you can't ever tell your husband you don't want to or you don't feel like it.
Why she can't?
Let me finish. Without tagging on a response to why you don't feel like it, or why you can't just say, oh, I don't want to, or I don't feel like it. You don't have that right. You don't have that privilege. That's how I feel, because I was married to a woman, and I can say this is a positive quality about my ex-wife. I was married to a woman that for 22 years, I don't care if it was 3 o'clock or 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock or high noon, she never said no. Never, ever. So
well, good for her.
No,
but
I don't.
we ain't talking about her.
So I don't get the whole I don't want to or I don't feel like it. I said, imagine those, what I said to her was, imagine those roles being reversed.
Okay.
And you tried to get at him and he told you, no, baby, I don't feel like it. I don't want to. See, for a man, what we hear in that moment, KK, we hear rejection. We hear you saying, I don't turn you on. I don't want you like that. That's what we hear as a man. Because the biggest thing on a man is his what? Let me hear what you think.
But why she
What
can't?
do you think the biggest thing on a man is?
What you mean the biggest thing? His ego? What?
His ego, exactly. So when you attack my ego as a female, when you attack my ego, oh yeah, it's fucked up. It's on then. It's on. You don't get the right to tell me, baby, I don't feel like it. I'm sorry. You
I do have that right.
No.
Yes, I do.
Hold on. Listen. When we got married and took those vows, your body became my body. My body became your body. So somehow, some way, point blank period, we got to work that out.
If I don't want to, I don't have to.
But you need to tell me why you don't want to.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do, KK.
Because if my husband knows me, and if I'm telling him no, he knows me. He's gonna know it has to be a reason, or for her to tell me no. She must not feel well, or something is going on, or whatever. But he's going to press me for a reason, like I'm a child. Why didn't you do your homework? And then I gotta get it. She gotta tell me why. He's my husband. He's not my boss. He's not going to question me unless he thinks there's a bigger issue. I could be sick. I could be not feeling well.
So what's wrong with saying that? What's wrong with saying
that? I have to say all that.
Yes, you do. You only
just like you said, what's understood is what's understood.
Now, hold on. You just told me a minute ago. You just said I can't read your mind. Now you just told me that about communication.
About what do you want? I can't read your mind about what you want and what your expectations are. No, you have to verbally say that. But
so what's the difference?
And I'm not talking about somebody that's just dating. I'm talking about a husband and wife, whatever. My husband's not going to question me. He's not going to ask me for no 10 reasons to give him. If and then it also depends on how you say it too. Because if it's like, because I don't want to and all that, then yeah, he might think, what's going on with you or whatever. But if I just say, maybe not right now. I'm not. I don't want to right now. He's not going to question me. He might ask me the next day, but he's going to leave me alone in that moment.
So you don't believe in that moment that pisses him off. So what that face mean? You don't care? Is that I don't give a fuck face? I mean, what are you saying?
It's my body. I have to do right. I have the right to say no if I want to.
No, you don't have the right. No, you don't. See, that's something we don't. We're okay. So, so what makes you think, as a wife, that you have the right to turn your husband down?
Now this is something that's happening every day, every week, every month, and it's happening, something is not right. But if it's just one time, you can give me that one time. You can give me that moment.
I'm gonna give it to you regardless, but as your husband, is my mental health not important to you?
So why do you need a reason?
Okay, so hold on, I'm about to tell you why. So instead of having me pissed off because you done turned me down, you done shatter my ego in the moment, I'm sitting up here with $60 worth of hard digger jawbreakers, laying in this bed, ready to make love to my wife, and you turning me down, you pushing me away, baby, at least say, baby, I don't feel good tonight. I don't know what's going on. My body tripping with me. Lie to me. Make me feel good in the moment.
So you want her to lie to you? You want her to lie to you now?
I would much rather than just telling me no.
Why do you want her to lie to you? Why can't you say, are you okay? Are you not feeling well? Is there anything that I can do for you?
So that's what you want him to say.
I'm asking why you can't do that. You don't have to ask me nothing. I'm asking you, why can't you ask? If she's telling you no and your feelings are hurt and you feel some type of way, why can't you ask her, well, are you okay? Is there anything that I can do?
So what you saying, why don't I do?
About how you feel. What about her, how she feel?
Why she don't just say that and kill the elephant in the room from the jump?
Because maybe she don't want to talk about it right then and there.
Well, that's when I'm horny right then and there.
Well, you just have to get over it.
Let me read these comments. So let me roll back because Tracy must have run and Tracy must have said some good things. People saying they right. So let me roll back to when we started this conversation. It said, Tracy said, if your husband doesn't question you, then damn, they going so far as to say, if you don't give him an explanation, you don't respect him. See, look, see. So Ron said, there is a responsibility as his wife to open your commitment to him. Meaning, give it up when he come to get it. Then Ron said, vows get thrown out the window before they leave the church. Okay.
Why you bypass his comment?
I'm just skimming through. So then Tracy said, I've been married for 11 years, and what I understand, Kay, is that my body belongs to my wife and my wife's body belongs to her. So if she doesn't want to do so, then she's giving me the obligation to go out and smash another chick who
bypass that bullshit right there.
Okay.
No, I'm not gonna even indulge in that. You going out somewhere because your wife turned you down for one night. Please. I don't want to hear that bullshit. That's some bullshit right there.
Okay, so Kimberly Lewis said, I don't agree with Kay on that. This is exactly what Kevin is speaking of about accountability. Okay. They said, Kay, you full of it on this topic.
That's all right. I got my husband and he's fine.
Yeah. Oh my God. So yeah, no, but here's my only point, Kay. Like seriously, my only point about that is, as a man, we thrive on our egos. Like our ego is what drives us in most aspects of who we are and what we are. So when you go to your wife in a sexual connotation and you're turned down or you're pushed away, like just out of respect, I'm saying I would like for my wife to say to me, baby, not tonight. My back, I hurt my back early and I'm just not feeling it, or something's going on with me. I've been spotting on my period, and Give me some form of understanding as to why you don't want to do it. I mean, don't just tell me because you don't want to. I mean, come on now.
Okay. So
So
you're okay if she says no, not right now, long as she gives you a valid reason.
it can be bullshit, okay? I'm gonna respect whatever you say, but just don't brush me off like, nigga, I don't have to give you no reason. I said I don't want to because I don't want to. Come on now.
So
That
if she says no, and she's looking at you, and she could be looking like she's in pain or sad or emotional, why can't you just ask her if she's okay?
and I probably would at that moment if that's what I pick up. But
All right.
again, miss, I can't read your mind. Why not just tell me? Since we can't read each other's
You just
mind.
asked her though. You looking at her and you see her some type of way. And I'm not saying about the no, leave me alone, I don't feel like it type of thing. I'm talking about that part I get, just brushing somebody off and going, I don't, just leave me alone, I don't feel like it. That's just nasty and rude or whatever. I wouldn't do that. But if I'm sick, if I'm going through something or what have you, I feel like I have the right to say no if I don't want to at that
Baby,
moment.
baby, you do have the right. All I'm saying is, out of respect, just explain to me what's going on. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you don't have the right. I'm saying if you decide that this is not what you want to do tonight for whatever the reason is, just give me the respect of saying, baby, oh, I know, and I'm sorry. But and I'll tell you the kind of woman I had. If she was at that time of the month, and I'm not a dude who said if Noah can survive the flood, I can, fucking blood. I'm not that dude. Like I'm not doing it with a woman on a cycle. I've never been that guy. That's just not who I am. I had a type of woman, other things would go on if she felt like she just wanted to please me in the moment. Or give me, feed me something to chill me out. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
And I might be wrong, but I doubt it.
Okay.
So
Well,
let's talk about this polyamorous relationships.
didn't we have this discussion at
Yeah,
my sister's house?
we're gonna have it on here now. From the perspective of, so I'll let you explain to the people what polyamorous means in case they don't know.
No, this your show, you do it because I'm not an expert on it. So,
Well, neither one of us are experts. I mean,
let me hit up Google. Let me
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I don't want to say the wrong thing and then the tribe come out and get me and be like, she don't know what she talking about. Why you ask her? So let me get Wikipedia on it. Let's see. Polyamory is a
uh-huh.
form of ethical or consensual non-monogamy that involves having romantic or sexual relationships with multiple partners at the same time. Ethical or consensual non-monogamy describes relationships in which all parties are aware and consent to practice non-monogamy.
Basically an open marriage.
Open marriage relationship with each other.
Yes. So just in your opinion, I'm sure everybody else is going to chime in from the perspective of the definition of polyamorous, which she just read. Is there a benefit to a polyamorous relationship? Like, what's the benefit other than sexual?
I think you would have to ask the people who are involved in it because everybody would have a different response and a reason for it. And it's all about what they like and how it's beneficial to them. I read this article about this couple. I'm going to say a throuple because it was three individuals and it was 2 men and a woman. So it was man, woman, man. And they all lived together. They all had jobs. They all took care of the household. They had nice home, they had nice cars, they had businesses together, and it was financially beneficial for all of them together because they had investments together, business together, homes together, and they enjoyed each other's company. Now, the men were not in a relationship with each other, but they were both in a relationship with the woman. The woman shared a room with, they had their own rooms, and they both took turns, I guess, whoever was going to be in a room with her or what have you. But collectively together, they thrived financially together, but they loved each other, as a unit. So for them, that it worked out for them, and they didn't have a problem with it. Now, a man might want two women. He might want those two women to all be together in the same bedroom, and the women like each other and they like him too, and do those same things. So I think it depends on those individuals or what they're looking for. A lot of people always want to rush to the sex part and say, oh, it has to be about sex. You're just given permission to sleep with whoever you want to sleep with so you can have multiple people. But I don't think that it's always like that. Some people might use it as that, but I don't think that it's always like that.
Yeah, I can totally agree with that from the perspective of there being more than just a sexual aspect.
Mhm.
And hey, let's be real. Some of us are living a throuple and don't even know it. Don't even know it. So
I, I probably been in one and didn't know it. Hell, I know I was in one and didn't know it.
yeah. So I mean, my thing is when you talk about polyamory and living that type of lifestyle, there's a comedian. I can't think of the light skinned guy.
D.
He,
Ray Davis.
D. So you already know who it is.
Mm-hmm.
So D. Ray Davis lives with two women that he
Mm-hmm.
shares that lifestyle with, and I've heard him speak about it.
Mm-hmm.
And everything that he speaks on is never sexual about the relationship. It's
Mm-hmm.
about the love and admiration and respect for one another, how the women share certain things around the home and do certain things together with all the kids involved in that type of situation. So yeah, it's not, and you're absolutely correct. It's not always about the sex.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure when it comes to the sex, if you're a man and you got two women, first off, let me say this. At 53 years old, I'm just talking about me. I can't speak for nobody else. At 53 years old, I know night in and night out, I'm not going to desire two women night in and night out. Now, I can't tell you that, maybe if we know, hey, we looking forward to the weekend because that's when we do our thing on the weekend. Because nobody wants a hamburger every day. You might have a steak some days, you might have lobster, some days you might have catfish and shrimp. Might put them together and make a complete meal. So, I,
Had you ever liked two women at the same time? Maybe you were dating and you were dating Sandra and you liked all these things about Sandra. And then you went out with the boys one night, you met Sally, and then you like, something about her. Then you went out with her and you liked both of them for different reasons. And then if it came up to her like, well, I can actually, they're okay if I date both. I can have both of them and date both of them. They're okay with it. Would you do it?
yes, I would.
Oh,
I would.
there you have it.
Yeah, no, I really would. So I've been open about this on the show, saying this. There was a time in my life to where when I was married, I had a friend and it wasn't sexual at all. It was almost like going to a spa when I dealt with her because it was so relaxing when I would go into her environment, into her setting, into her home. It was like I'm sitting in what do they call those saunas where
The steam room?
yeah, no, not the steam. Yeah, maybe it is the steam room, but it's like a cold room almost to where it feels like snowflakes on your face. It's like a winter delight.
Oh yeah, the cold rooms, the
Yeah,
ice rooms where you're going
yeah,
there.
like man, it was just really, really, it was different. It was really different. So
And you didn't
even
have any responsibilities with her. All your responsibilities and the nagging and the house and the bills and the cars and the kids or whatever, it's all with the wife. you ain't have to nag with her. You ain't have to hear why you ain't do this and why you ain't do this and when we gonna do this. Because when y'all saw each other, those few times y'all did see each other, you didn't have nothing to argue about because you hadn't seen each other. So it was just the fun. She got the fun side. She didn't have to deal with the husband side.
Yeah, we only saw each other 5 times a week. So other than that,
Only.
yeah. So, but
You
even
saw
right
him
now,
more than the wife. Shit.
even right now, and I couldn't wait for the wife to go on vacation. But even right now, at 53, even right now, man, it's like the level of accountability in relationships for the women that I've dealt with, like dated, like it's zero. It's zero. Like, take some ownership of your bullshit. Like, I can't deal with a person. And I'm not saying a woman, a person. Like, I don't want no cousins around me or nobody else that when your ass is wrong, admit you fucked up and quit pointing the finger at somebody. Because here's what I've learned. Here's what I've learned, KK, is that the moment accountability is accepted, that takes the elephant out of the room. That doesn't give people anything to talk about.
So you think that no women can take accountability?
I didn't say none. I said a few of the ones I've dealt with recently.
Okay.
Yeah, the few of the ones I've dealt with.
What are you trying to hold them accountable to? What happened they taking ownership of?
I mean, just their actions, just your bullshit actions.
Like,
and the other thing that I hate, that in our 50s to run to social media with shit that you did. So let me give you an example of something. So there was this chick, this happened about, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. So this one chick I was dating went to 3 or 4 different people with a situation, dealing with her. So they started communicating because they was like, she tripping. Why she? So then when they brought it back to me, what she was telling them, and she found out I knew, she got mad at them saying they need to stay out of her business. She went to social media saying people need to stay. But you the one told them.
That was her fault. That was
they wouldn't even know what was going on had you not communicated with them what the situation was.
Yeah. So she pretty much told on herself.
Yeah. So why you go to social media?
I don't know. That's what people do nowadays. I mean, they go to social media for everything. Well, trying to get somebody on their side, I guess, because apparently the other 3 people were not on her side, and so now she needs somebody to hear her point of view and be on her side, and they were not on her side.
But KK, the flip side to the whole story is, had you not said anything, nobody wouldn't have even known what was going on. So you wouldn't have needed nobody on your side because they wouldn't have had a clue what the situation was.
So what does she need to be held accountable for? Her part in that whole thing?
I mean, first off, you went to social media saying people need to stay out of my business. The accountability side, if I'm the accountability attorney, I would say to her, first off, take accountability for your actions, that you're the one who started this whole thing by even communicating with them your personal business.
Did she ever say that? How do you know she never said that?
Said what?
I take accountability for my part in it.
Because she stopped talking to everybody who said something.
Oh.
She stopped being friends with them. She stopped communicating with them.
Oh, well, I guess you never took accountability.
That's what my point is.
So were you in a poly relationship with her or something?
No, I wasn't with her, but okay, so let's go to a situation where I was with another woman. So once I decided I no longer wanted to see her, I'm not going to say she attempted suicide, but she was telling people that she just thinks she just want to kill herself. She don't want to live anymore. And this again is a grown ass woman.
I think that was more so attention. Somebody needed some attention. Somebody
That's what
needed,
I said in the moment.
but
That's what I
you
said.
can never, you can say, somebody needs some attention, but you should always take those things seriously because you just never know how far someone's gonna go to get that attention. And you don't ever want anyone to actually kill themselves and commit suicide for whatever the reason is. So you should never take it lightly, even though it could be attention seeking.
Yeah, and I just say, I mean, sometimes, and I try to explain this, the attention seeking is also going to social media.
Yeah,
Because
that's
why
why I
would you?
said it. She needed some attention.
No, but this the girl who I was talking about. She was calling people saying this.
She
This
still
was
needed some attention. She needed
yeah.
somebody
This
to hear
wasn't
her
even a
point of
social
view.
media thing. She was calling people saying, "Oh, I don't want to live no more. I can't believe this is happening to me. I think I just want to die."
What you're doing to these women to make them want to kill themselves?
Hey, I'm a damn fool when I want to be.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
That's a very good thing.
You didn't had two people want to say they want to commit suicide.
So let's talk about.
You never finished talking about the poly stuff. You did the segue straight to your crazy ex-girlfriends.
Yeah, I'm done with them hoes.
Look now,
hey,
that's gonna be all that.
let's leave them in the no. Well, I'm not saying they were hoes, but well, one of them was like she used to always say, "Hey, I just want to be your hoe." That was her statement.
Well, that was the first mistake you made right there for getting involved with somebody like that. So that's your accountability. You need to be held accountable.
Oh, I was enjoying the moment. I
That's
didn't do
your
nothing wrong.
fault.
I was
So
enjoying
take
the moment.
accountability for that.
So even
Own
in the moment of a sexual act, she would tell me to fuck me like I'm your hoe. You are. I mean,
and that's your fault.
That's my fault.
Yes, that is your fault.
Tell me how
You made that choice. You chose that person. So you need to be held accountable for the type of women that you choose and that you allow into your bedroom.
That's my fault.
You chose them. You chose her. She telling you she crazy, and you like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get with crazy, and now you mad because she's showing you that she crazy. She already told you she was crazy. You knew that.
But Kay, I've had women in our 50s, and it's a couple of dudes on here that live on my street right now. They will tell you I am not lying. I've had women in my 50s right now driving by my house to see if I'm at home or to see if anybody else is here with me when I don't answer the phone or if I'm gone and my phone is at home. Like,
did they show you any of those signs prior to you getting with them?
I didn't really know them to that level.
Why are they coming to your house? Why are you letting everybody come to your house?
I don't let everybody come, but I'm single.
But they know where you live.
Hold on, but let me say, okay, I'm single. I don't have nothing to hide. I'm single.
So you still have to be held accountable.
How is that my responsibility?
Because you don't just be letting anybody all willy-nilly show up at your house and giving them your address and then bringing them over and sleeping with them and then sending them about their business. And then you invite the next person over, then you have the next person over, and then you talk to this person over. And now you mad because you ignoring them and they driving by your house.
This nigga said, if you eat their booty one time, it's over. Ron, I ain't gonna be able to do it, bro. But I don't see how. Okay, so you're telling me that you can be held accountable for a man's action and the dumb shit a man do.
I'm just saying that you have to step back and look at the part that you played in that. What did you do to make that woman, if anything, start acting irrational and doing drive-bys. Because I will say this, we just don't wake up on Wednesday and say, I think I'm just going to drive by his house just because. There is something that happened that led up to that moment to where that woman felt like she needed to drive by your house for whatever the reason was. So if you can think of a time that you maybe have played a small little part in her being a little ignorant, just a little bit, just a tinge.
Again, I'm totally lost as a man. I'm totally lost. If any man on here can make me understand in his comments, but I'm totally lost as a man how it's my responsibility to same way like at 53. Okay, I'm not driving by nobody's house at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's you. That's you. And I'm not saying that they're right. I'm not saying that that's right, because there are some ignorant people out there. I'm saying is what happened, what led that person to make them want to do that. Did you just all of a sudden stop talking to them? Did you ignore them? Did you lie? Did you lead them on in any kind of way? Not saying that is right, but did you have any small part in that?
Well, let me say this first and foremost. I say all the time, even on here, like my probably biggest problem is that I'm brutally honest. Mm-hmm. So the lying part at 53, I don't have to lie because I'm the only one on the mortgage here. They only get my money. Light bill, they only get my money. So I don't have to lie to you. Mm-hmm. I can be totally 100% transparent about where I am, what I'm doing, and where I'm going. And if I don't want to share that, I don't have to share that. I had a woman ask me, so where you finna go? See your other little bitch? I'm like, well, she's not a bitch, but yeah, I am finna go see a friend. How is that?
There's nothing wrong with that.
But
me personally, I prefer that, to be honest. I prefer somebody to be honest with me than lie to me. I mean, that wouldn't bother me if I was single and I was dating and a man and I called someone and I asked him what he was doing. He get ready to tell me he's going to date. I'm totally okay with that because I might be going on another one tomorrow myself. So that don't bother me at all because I am brutally honest as well. And I've said that to men before. It's the men who couldn't handle it, but I was truthful because I was single. And if you're not trying to commit to me, don't think that I'm the only person that you're going to be dating. I'm not sitting at home waiting by my phone. Yeah. I can get another date. So I get that part, but I also have been on the other end of that ignorant stage before, I have done some things in my past that I might not be too proud of, but I can speak on because the statute of limitations has passed. So I think I'm okay. But I have done some ignorant stuff before. And I felt like I was, what's the word I want to use? I didn't get up and was just like, oh, I'm gonna be crazy today and I'm gonna do some stupid stuff. I felt like I was drove to do those things, and had the person just been honest with me and upfront with me, I wouldn't have to go and snoop and look for stuff because you could have just told me and this could have been the end of that conversation. But if
so give me an example. Give me an example of something that was said to you, because again, I'm not a dude at 53 that makes a habit of lying to women, because honestly, like, I don't have no commitment to nobody. Okay. And I try and be 100% again transparent and say, look, we are dating. That means you can go date who you want to go on a date with. I'm going to go to who I want to go on with. And that's in the game. That's where it is. I'm not trying to tie nobody down to being my boo, to being 100% committed to me. That's one of the unspoken things in a relationship. When I get to that point to where I feel that same reciprocation that maybe she's feeling in the moment, I'll express that. And then we can discuss, okay, so do we want to be exclusive or do we still just want to date? because as long as we're just dating, I expect for you to do you because I'm going to do me. So there is no reason. There is nothing that I'm telling you or telling a woman to make her want to drive by or to make her think I'm lying.
So did you ask, why are you driving by my house?
No, I just eliminated her ass from the rotation.
Rotation, okay. All right, Kev.
I'm gonna keep a
Go
rotation.
with your rotation.
I'm gonna keep a rotation until I feel like I wanna settle down with somebody. See this dude on here, Terrence Woodard? He know I'm not lying. That's why he putting this LOL on here, because he'll say, man, I see that white Tahoe down there. Man, I see that red Jaguar down there. Man, I see that Cadillac down there. Because I have friends. We are, you know what I tell people? I wouldn't even allow them to say, KK, that we are dating, because I want them to say we are in the getting to know each other phase. Don't even put us.
If you are saying all that and being 100% truthful and honest in your expectations of your friendships, then correct. There is no reason for anyone just to be driving by your house looking to see what you're doing, because they should be able to just pick up the phone and you should be able to just tell them, I have company right now. So that I have no answer for. I don't know why they're doing that. I can't answer that question because I've never done that before. But again, what type of women are you meeting? And do they give you those signs prior to that for you to know before you invite them to your house and know where you live?
But I don't. What's the signs of stalker? I don't know stalker signs.
Let me look it up. Let me see.
Yeah, like I don't know stalker signs. That's what I'm saying. All I'm trying to do is be open and honest and truthful. All I can worry about at 53 is me. I can't worry about another woman's mental welfare that I'm not married to. That's not my wife. Now, once she becomes my wife, then it becomes my responsibility. But
so, do you tell them that you date other people when you're in that getting to know stage? It's like, well, you know,
yes,
you're not
yes,
the only person I'm dating.
yes.
I'm dating other people.
Yes. And I just had pop on the screen one of those friends say, I wish I could pop you in on the show and say that's what you say. Because one of the girls that I still right now go on dates with, she just commented on, just sent me a text message that popped on my screen and said that. Like, no, he doesn't lie. He says that.
Did she drive by your house too?
Her?
I'm just
she doesn't. No, she doesn't. She doesn't.
I'm just messing. Well, hey, if you're upfront with them and you tell them from the get-go what it is, the reason why they're driving by, no, I can't answer that question.
Yeah, and again, me personally, when I want to settle down, then me and whomever that young lady is will have that conversation at that point. But I expect, if you're already showing me, here's what I look for, here's what I expect honesty.
Mm-hmm.
So when I start getting lies and we just like dating, we just going on dates and I see you lying, come on, that's a red flag. When your level of accountability ain't there and we just going on dates, that's a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
And then I expect for us to be able to spend time together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so when you got 2 out of 3 red flags, like, why would I continue to stick around, continue to even want to date you?
No, you gotta move
already,
around.
Yeah, like,
I get it, because when I was single, I dated multiple people. I dated. I had plenty of guy friends until one person decided just to exclusively date me. I had multiple friends, and I was honest with mine too. I didn't care. Told them in a minute, I'm on a date, on my way to a date. I'll call you when I get back, or whatever. I answered my phone. I didn't hide my phone. It wasn't upside down on the table. It rang. I answered it if I needed to. I didn't have to lie. I told them right up front. So I get it.
So Nicole says, have you always been transparent, honest, and truthful? If not, at what age did you start? Just curious. Well, for me, once I became single, from being married for 22 years. Once I got back in the date game, yeah, I've been totally honest this time around. Yeah, in my 20s, of course, I lied and played games. I was extremely immature. But now, as a grown ass man at 53, I'm totally transparent. I don't have nothing to hide. I don't have nothing to lie about.
Yeah,
And
at this age, we shouldn't be lying about anything
and,
at
and
all.
that's why I say, for me, that's what I think my biggest flaw is, being honest. I think that's a flaw because
Yeah.
I don't think women really want to know the truth.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
No, I don't.
Yes. No, that's bullshit. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We want to hear it. Y'all don't want to tell us the truth because you think we're going to cry. It's going to hurt our feelings and we can't handle it. It's going to hurt. It's going to sting, but we want to hear the truth no matter what, because at least you were honest with us. Don't feed us some old bullshit. Don't feed us what you think we want to hear. Just be honest. Either way it goes, it's going to hurt. So you might as well just rip the Band-Aid off. Because I can respect you more if you just tell me the truth than make me try to guess and assume and play those mind games and try to make me think one thing and this is not real. Tell me what it is. Just raw, brutal honesty. That's what I need.
So for me, I don't even want to rip the Band-Aid off because I don't even want you to ever have to heal from me. That's why I want to come in with total transparency from the word say go. I want to be totally honest off the muscle.
Well, that's telling the truth. That's
Yeah,
being
but
transparent.
then you get crucified, okay?
Yes, we do. We want the truth.
But you get crucified as a man for being honest. Like, what the fuck?
You get crucified for getting caught for lying, so just tell the truth.
And I do, and I still do. I still, like I say, that's my biggest flaw, being honest. Because the one thing, even coming on this podcast, the one thing I always said I was going to do when I'm here on this podcast is speak my truth.
Mm-hmm.
I can't make nobody else speak theirs. I stopped people from being on this show with me because I know you come on here and lie. I've had people on the show that were dating married people and would come on the show and talk about how they were such a Christian and how they don't see how these women can mess with a married person or this, that, and the other. And I'm sitting here thinking like, motherfucker, you do it right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's, yeah, but no, I understand that, but I can't, let me stop speaking for all women. For the ones, for me, myself, and for the ones that I personally know who I've had this conversation with, we prefer the truth no matter how much you feel like it's going to hurt us at the end of the day. I can take the truth more so than I can take a lie. And I'm going to give an example. So before I got married, I dated this guy and I thought we were in a relationship, right? But at some point, because he said we were, this is not something I made up in my head. Mm-hmm. This was verbalized because I'm gonna ask questions. Are we in a relationship? And are we, is this exclusive? I need to know. I damn near want to notarize because I don't want to come back later for you to say, I ain't never tell you that. I just said we was friends. No, I'm gonna know. So we're dating. I was a flight attendant then. He was on my benefits. We were traveling. We were having a good time and everything.
I would have told you we was dating too to get on them travel benefits.
Then I had to go out of town, and I was out of town for a little bit. It was his birthday. He was supposed to come out of town with me. Mm-hmm. He didn't come. I came home that weekend. We went out of town, celebrated. Our birthdays were 2 weeks apart. We celebrated his birthday. We celebrated my birthday. Then we celebrated our anniversary of dating for 2 years now. Then he said he had to go to a game, to referee a game. So all of those 2 years we were dating, I never picked up his phone. I never looked at his phone. I never tried to reach for his phone or anything like that. But there were times in our relationship where I questioned just my intuition. I didn't never have any proof, but I felt like some things were off. Maybe some dates didn't add up or some conversations. So I would just ask him point blank, are you seeing someone else? Are you interested in someone else? Is there someone else? Is this not working for you? Let's just go our separate ways if you don't want to be in a relationship right now, whatever. conversation, just not me going off, not me acting a damn nut, just a conversation. Everything was, you always think I'm doing something, I'm not doing nothing, blah 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 blah. You always coming up with stuff in your head. At his
Oh,
house,
that's when we are doing something.
yeah,
But go ahead.
at his house the next week after we did all this celebrating, he's in the restroom, the phone goes off. It's like maybe midnight or so. I've never looked at his phone. Something told me. I picked up his phone, looked at it, and I saw all kind of messages, not from just one woman, but for two women that he was dating. And so I took my phone and I took screenshots of all the messages for all the both of the women. And one woman had just left his house the night before. So he comes out of the restroom. I'm calm, cool. And I'm like, hey, let's have a conversation. I want to ask you because I feel some type of way. Do you want to date someone else? Is there someone else? Why are you always coming up with this stuff? Always come, we having a good evening, a good weekend, and blah, blah, blah. You want to ruin it with all this stuff. I'm just having a conversation. I want to ask you, are you seeing someone else? Do you want to date someone else? Are you okay? Do we need to have a conversation? Because we can break up and we can go out certain ways. You don't have to be with me, whatever. He still lied. I got my stuff and I left because I didn't want to act a nut and go to jail. So I went home. I had to think about it for some days. I didn't call him or whatever because back in the day, I was ignorant as hell. And he really got me at a mature moment because I wasn't quite 50 yet, but I was in my late 40s. And so it stayed on my mind and just kept on my mind. I went back to those messages and I called one of those women in that message. And what I found out was the weekend that we celebrated our 2-year anniversary, they had celebrated their 1-year anniversary. The night that we went to dinner and spent the weekend together for that, when he left to say he had to go referee a game, he left to go out to eat to a steak restaurant for their anniversary, the same restaurant that I just took him to. So,
but let me tell you, he only went there because he already knew what the menu was. He wasn't trying to be like a smart ass or nothing.
so anyway, so now I'm hot because she and I talking. We putting dates together, times and everything that I ever thought, and I called him out on and asked him about calmly, he lied about. And she hung up with me and she called him. And she was like, yeah, I'm on the phone with your girlfriend. He was like, what? She lying. She crazy. She's some girl that I used to mess with, blah, 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 blah. So then I had 2 phones at the time. So he hangs up with her, then he calls me. She's still on the phone with me on my other phone. I put her on speakerphone, answer my other phone. Now she can hear the bullshit that he getting ready to tell me. And same thing he told her, same thing he telling me. Oh, that's some crazy girl I dated, blah, blah, blah. He's lying. She hear him. And I'm going, you know what? I'm good. I'm done. I don't need to even go back and forth with you. It's over. I can't take it anymore. What you calling people for? I said, look, I told you long time ago I was ignorant as hell and not to fuck with me. I told you that. I've asked you point blank. Tell me the truth. Don't make me hear nothing in the street. You can tell me whatever you want to tell me. You can hurt my feelings, whatever it is. What you're not going to do is play with my emotions. You're not going to play with my intelligence. You're not going to make me think I'm coming up with stuff and making up shit in my head when you can just be honest with me. That's what's going to get your tires slashed, fucking with me. I was straight honest with him. But still, he could not be honest and he lied and went through all that. And 4 or 5 months later, he came back. Can we talk? Sat down with him. He went ahead and confessed, told me the truth. He confirmed everything I ever suspected, or whatever. He confirmed it and everything. And I was able to walk away from him. I had my little closure or whatever. And that was the end of that. We are friends to this day, as cordial. He knows that I'm married and everything. I haven't seen him. We don't go out or anything like that. But I think he's still dating that girl, as a matter of fact. But I'm just saying, he didn't have to lie. he could have been honest with me, and he chose not to.
Yeah. Well, all I can say is the brother went to the restaurant because he knew what the menu was, and he would have to guess what he wanted to try.
No, she and I made reservations at the same place because that was his favorite restaurant.
Well, see, I'm not going to even say.
Yeah. He was on that bullshit. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what makes women act the way they do. You know, when they start going off and acting all crazy and ignorant, that's the type of stuff that can get you, harmed or what have you. Now, had he caught me back in my 20s, the story would have been a whole lot different than the way it ended.
So what's your friend Curtis? What's Curtis' last name?
Young.
Oh, so that's Curtis on here.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's Curtis making these comments. That's what I thought.
What did you say?
Curtis said, "Sometimes closure is overrated. Just leave."
Now I know Curtis ain't talking.
Well, we're not going to discuss Curtis.
Yeah, I know he is not talking.
I'm just telling you, he been commenting the whole show.
Because you're gonna have to have a whole 3-hour show for him and his trauma.
Curtis, well, hey, look, the one thing I can tell you is that Curtis can verify everything I've said about these women today having no accountability and lacking the ability to be trustworthy. They do. No accountability, and they lack the ability to be trustworthy. So I would suggest to any man, like I would to your husband, when you find a good one, that'll lock them down like a cornerback, put them on lock.
Well, yeah, that is true.
There's not a lot of good ones out here floating around.
No, it's not. It's not at all.
So, KK, I've enjoyed you. We got to do this again. But we're going to have to get a little more juicy come next week. If you want to come back in next week, we'll get a little more juicier with the topics next week. It's been our hour. Actually, we even went over 12 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I was letting you finish your story.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I was on a roll. He ran me hot all over again.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed you. Great conversation.
I might have to send him a nasty text. It ran me hot.
Hey, you can't worry about that now. You got a whole husband.
I'm just playing.
I know it. So they said salute to you.
All right.
They said they enjoyed you. No, thank you for coming on behalf of my girl KK. This has been, and Curtis Young in the comments, this has been What He Said with Kevin Walker. Of course, I am Kevin Walker. Thank y'all again for another episode. Hey, look, March 19th, guys, March 19th, we are having a day party and a What He Said with Kevin Walker celebration for those of you like Felicia and some of you others, Big Ben, that's been with me through my 2-year duration of this podcast. This is year number 2. We're coming up on year number 2. And I thank y'all for y'all support. I told y'all I was going to take care of y'all. Thank y'all for supporting me throughout this endeavor. Last week, man, just real quick, overnight, we did the Wednesday show. Normally, I check midday Wednesday. Just from Facebook alone, we had over 1,300 views from Facebook alone. By the end of the week, including YouTube and everything else we own, we were up to like 4,600. So, hey, thank y'all for y'all support. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for commenting. Thank y'all for being here every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. KK, you want to come back next week?
Sure, I sure will. If they want me to come back, I'll come back. If you
yeah,
want
we're going to be messing next week, though. We're going to get into some messing. We're going to be messing next week, KK.
I can be messy.
So we can have them burning them comments up. So on behalf of Kevin Walker, we'll see y'all next Wednesday night, 8 p.m. on What He Said with Kevin Walker. Peace.